low. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo, taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a
300 people coming here in Budapest. You guys see the cap?
For this man.
Budapest.
Budapest.
In the house?
Yeah. Cool, man. Oh boy.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Without further ado, I want to give a warm introduction. Budapest, one of my favorite cities in the world. My good friend, the man that's here to take all of us straight to the moon. Make some noise, Ian Balina.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you. Thank you. Budapest! Wow. What a crowd. What a crowd. So I was telling my friends earlier, and I tell people all the time, I was just a guy in DC doing live streams. And now, thanks to crypto and ICO investing, and the main topic of today, token metrics, I'm here in Budapest on crypto retirement. Right? But anyway, guys, it's a pleasure to meet all you guys here. Glad to be here. Can you guys see me? Maybe on the moon, all right? But anyway, thank you guys so much. I want to give you guys a big round of applause for coming here, for taking time out of your day, out of your life, out of your ICO research to come and hang out with us here today. So, big clap to you guys. Then I want to give a special thank you to our sponsors for today and our hosts here in Budapest, Crypto Family. Peter and Attila, please come up here. These guys are Crypto Family here in Budapest, and they're showing us an amazing time, right? So Peter is actually part of my Patreon group. Do you want to share a story?
Well, I don't know what. I mean, it's
just your experience in crypto.
Yeah.
What you've kind of been doing.
I mean, literally, I've been part of this group for about I don't know, half a year, and it's literally changed my life. So I stopped working about 6 months ago, and yeah, I'm doing full-time crypto now. And
just to clarify, when he says stopped working, that's because he's now okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then to Attila?
Yeah, basically we met with Balázs on the Patreon, no, it was a Telegram group of Ian, you know. We became friends, and it was last year, I think, in June. So basically from there on, we keep posting each other on a daily basis. So we became very good friends, and we met at a London
Now, you
meetup.
were one of the early members in my Telegram group.
Yes,
I believe,
actually,
correct?
yeah.
What number, how many people were it back then?
Couple thousand maybe, or not even 1,000 or so.
So about 1,000 people?
Yes.
And now it's 30,000? So that's like a 30x. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hosting us and for putting together a great event, great venue. Thank you so much.
thank you.
And then special shout out to my team. Shout out to Dan over here, our video producer, to Drew, music producer, to Diego and Ugo, my business partners, to Mike from Marbella. And yeah, I think that's, and to Abs over here, our other video producer as well. And yeah, guys, this is the team. This is my crypto family that's been traveling with us here all the way across the world. All right, so what's on the agenda today? And what exactly do we do here on a Crypto World Tour? This is the agenda. It's a very informal gathering, right? I'll give you guys an intro on the event and myself, who I am. And then we'll go over token metrics, right? Just to kind of refresh what that is. And I think the most valuable thing from this event are these last two things. The ICO pitches. We have 5 ICOs lined up here in the ICO gauntlet, right? So the first ICO, tell us your name and the project.
Michael from Data Fund.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Josip from Tolar.
Just pass it down.
Yeah, hello, I'm Michael from ADEQUACY.
Hello, my name is Milos from Slovenia, and the project is Motogram IO.
Hello, my name is Csaba. I'm from ilog.io.
All right. Thank you. So word has started to spread that this ICO pitch now can really take an ICO to the moon. Because I think that these are very valuable because we discovered ICOs from events like this, like recently Sparkster, which now has, over 40,000 people in the Telegram group. They came and pitched at my event in Amsterdam when they had like a few hundred people in the Telegram group. And by winning, they basically gone to the moon. Now, that's because it was also a good project. I personally, from analyzing, thought it was a good project. But just because you win doesn't mean you go to the moon necessarily. But the chances are more likely. Let's just say that, okay? Then we've also discovered other projects like Eden Chain. They came to my event in South Korea. And who was part of Eden Chain ICO? Show of hands? A few people? Who was part of Nucleus? Okay, Nucleus also came to my event in Los Angeles. So I find the value of events like this because we're really trying to discover great projects all over the world. And our entire team is willing to travel to find those projects. People keep saying, hey, Ian, you know what? The ICO game has changed. How do you get into ICOs early? Because everything is now selling out, right? Whitelist closes early, pre-sale, private sale closes early. Well, the question is, are you willing to invest to have that edge? Right? Because with us, we've kind of noticed that same thing's happening as well. And now almost the best strategy is to really be the first investor in a project. And for us, we're willing to go on this crypto world tour and scour every corner of the globe for the next 100x, for the next Wabi, the next Icon, next OneChain. I mean, that's why we're here in Budapest, right? Maybe we'll find the next 100x from here, who knows, right? But this is us kind of investing to have that edge, right? Because when the game changes, you also have to evolve and adapt with it as well, all right? All right, so that's the ICO pitches. Then we'll also have the AMA. So if you guys want to ask me anything when it comes to crypto, ICOs, even life in general, you guys can ask that. And then we have a special surprise at the end. All right, are you guys ready? All right, Budapest. So I just discovered these used to be two different cities, right? Buda and Pest, or Pest? Oh, three, okay. Learned something even more today. But anyway, our host had the chance of hosting us, taking us out, showing us around, and I was just blown away by how beautiful the city is. All right, so next topic. Who is Ian Balina, and why is he here? Why did he come all the way from America to Budapest? And why is there a crowd to come see him speak? All right, so I'll start off by saying I'm a full-time blockchain angel investor, meaning that I do this as a full-time job. I quit my job at IBM. Prior to doing this, I was working at IBM as a sales engineer. In the last 1 year, I've been in ICO investing or crypto for about 1.5 years. And in just 1 year, I've kind of built up this really large following from just being very transparent, very honest, and just sharing and documenting everything via my diary, right? I guess my online handle is called Diary of a Made Man. And this all began as me just doing a diary on my life. And crypto, I happened to stumble across crypto, and that changed everything. Now I'm basically evangelizing cryptocurrencies and ICOs because it's changed my life so much. And I try to find patterns in the data. And I call this token metrics, right? So token metrics basically is using data and analytics to find patterns in ICO investing and figure out what the most profitable ICOs have done and what they had in common. And then applying that new grading system towards upcoming ICOs. So anyway, I kind of began documenting this live on my channel, on my YouTube channel, back when I had less than probably a few thousand people on my channel, 1,000 to 2,000 people on my channel. I just began live streaming this, documenting the process as part of my diary. And just from doing this and just publicly sharing my wins and losses via a spreadsheet with the whole world, right? Because I was trying to, in a way, build a community, which is amazing now, because now there's so many other ICO analysts making their own spreadsheets. People like Oh Hey Maddie and other people out there. There's now a site like Top 7 ICOs that gathers all the ICO analysts and shows their scores. So being able to just kind of kickstart that community has been a beautiful thing. Who's heard of the Ian Balina effect? Show of hands. Who's been a victim of the Ian Balina effect? Who's benefited from the Ian Balina effect? Okay, so if you're wondering what that is or where that came from, my first ICO using token metrics was in July or August 2017. It was DNT, District 0x and 0x. That was the first month really just kind of sharing the spreadsheet. And my top 2 ICOs of the month ended up doing a 24x at the peak, I believe, with DNT, and 0x was a 10x or more. And then word kind of began slowly spreading of what tokenmetrics was. And then fast forward, we had Wabi, an ICO where nobody had really heard of. Their pre-ICO only raised $300,000. When we discovered them, they had only raised about 50 to 100 grand. And after I covered them, because now after we had some success, when I mentioned an ICO, that was the first one people went in and FOMO'd, even back then. And you could say they sold out in about 2 days. So about 2/3 of Wabi pre-ICO was my community, people like you. And then Wabi, so that ICO price was 3 cents. 4 months later, when it was on exchanges, it hit Binance, it went to $5. So that was over 100x on Wabi, and 2/3 of the people were my audience. Then as that was happening, Icon came out, an ICO we discovered from Korea, basically the Korean Ethereum, we called it, and that did 100x at the same time. So we had 200x ICOs, and then Dragon Chain came out, an ICO we did a month later, which was an uncapped ICO. So at this point in time, people considered uncapped ICOs not really good ICOs. But using data, we were able to discover which ones were undervalued and at what price point in particular. So we had 2 100x ICOs and a 50x ICO in the same month. And that's kind of when things went really crazy, viral. My YouTube went over 100,000, and Ian benefit got bigger and bigger and bigger, because everything was on the blockchain, so to speak, via our diary and the live streams on the spreadsheet. And at the peak, the spreadsheet was now getting viewed by over 1 million people around the world each month. To a point I had to take it down because it was getting too influential, because it was moving markets and ICOs way too much, and I didn't really want to do that. But anyway, that's kind of how tokenmetrics came about. I definitely recommend you watch my video on YouTube, whether it's the live stream or the actual tokenmetrics video. That has a lot more details on what that is. All right, thank you. Can we turn on the AC in here? Is it just me or is it hot in here? I feel like I'm in the hot seat, and I'm not the ICOs pitching today. All right, any questions on this before we go to the ICO pitches? Show of hands, any questions? No? Over here? Okay, all right. Oh, man.
I'm just asking for my friend, so kind of translating. He would like to know if at all, your spreadsheet is going to be ever again available.
Okay, good question. Will the spreadsheet ever be available? At this point in time, unfortunately, no. But I do plan to turn this into an application that people can use, right? Because I feel like the current model it's in does not scale. Because the whole reason I made the spreadsheet was to open source this data knowledge and teach people. And then it kind of backfired on us when every ICO I would rank highly on there would sell out, just like that. Or the whitelist would close just like that, which kind of defeats the purpose. And it came to a point where people were just blindly investing on all the All-Star and Hall of Fame ICOs on my spreadsheet without doing any research. And I didn't want to have blind investing. So now I feel like the only way to do that was to take it down and make people do their own research even more, which I hoped worked. But I do plan to bring it back, but in a more constrained form, because at the peak, over 1 million people or more a month were viewing this, which does not scale, right? Because if 1 million people are there with Ether ready to invest in any ICO, right, that's how you end up with super tiny individual caps on ICOs. So I think with the application, I can really limit it to just my community. For example, my Telegram group, which is one of the bigger independent Telegram groups, has 30,000 people in it. Imagine if as opposed to 1 million people viewing it a month, it's just those 30,000 people. And I feel like one of the ways of doing that is by creating an application and maybe giving an airdrop token to people in my community, and they use that to access the application. So this is kind of what I'm thinking of doing now. It has been a slow process because from talking to my securities lawyer, we had to, the SEC considers airdrop securities. So I had to file paperwork and file with the SEC. Now that's in the process of being reviewed. Then now we're in the process of doing a private placement, all that stuff, right? So once that is done, we actually already have the token working. We just got to integrate that into the application. And you guys know me. We got to have a prototype first. Okay. So once we have the prototype, then, and everything's working, then I'll give out the token to my community. All right. And so that's the only way I view that coming back. Maybe if I discover some other creative ways to still share that with my community without really doing that. I mean, right now what I do, about every week or so, I just take a list of my rankings on my spreadsheet and just send that out as a picture via my private Telegram group. That's kind of what I've been doing now. That way it's more controlled and not everybody in the world is viewing it. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Okay, thank you, Diego.
May I ask, what's your vision on Bitcoin? I mean, talking about...
What's the what? Sorry?
What's your vision on Bitcoin?
My vision on Bitcoin?
Yeah, long term.
I don't have any Bitcoin. I'm all the way in ICOs. ICOs are basically investing in ICOs to make more Ether. Right? So in terms of Bitcoin, though, I think Bitcoin is about to go on a big run. I think Bitcoin is about to be really innovated by a new project called RSK, Rootstock. Have you heard of it? It's basically bringing smart contracts onto Bitcoin. Right? So what Ethereum is doing, all those Ethereum dApps now can be ported over to Bitcoin. Right? So you guys know we had a crypto world tour in South America, right? That was really just an excuse to go see RSK in Buenos Aires. But just to kind of learn more about the project. And I think it's going to be a very innovative project. With that being said, though, just because something is great technology doesn't make it a great investment. Right? But I think Bitcoin is going to have lots and lots of innovation thanks to projects like RSK that are really pushing the edge and bringing smart contracts capability to Bitcoin. Now, in terms of Ethereum, I think Ethereum is king right now, in my opinion, because they have the largest developer community at the moment. And every ICO is now, for the most part, built on Ethereum. So until they're displaced by some other blockchain like NEO or now maybe even EOS, because they did raise over $1 billion, right? But right now, Ether is where it's at. All right, okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll take these two questions. Then we'll go to the ICO pitch. Diego, where's...
How about doing the Ian Balina token airdrops amongst the participants of your Crypto World Tour?
Yes, that is the plan. So people in my community will get the token. It won't be called the Balina token. I want to give it something more original. Not my name. But the idea is only people in the community will get it. And you won't know when you're getting it. You just know that if you're part of the community, and you've been active and engaged and just a good member of the community, you'll get the token. That's all I can say. All right, and then in the back. Somebody
there? My name is Gabor, and it's a pleasure to be here. Actually, my question is that you mentioned the drivers of your research, like the team, the quality of prototype, and I'm just wondering, how about the social media? Are you taking into the account the volume of social media mentions, the sentiments, and so on?
Not sentiment, just more of, right now I use Telegram, size of Telegram group, but that's capped because now ICOs can use bots or whatever, or just use free airdrops to grow the Telegram to insane amounts. So I cap it, right? But I just look for a decently sized Telegram group.
So actually not checking the Twitter?
Twitter, no. I mean, Twitter is even worse. Twitter, you can just buy followers or whatever.
Gotcha. Thanks a lot.
And I've noticed that not just because a project has hype doesn't mean it will do well. I've seen projects that had a ton of hype. Who recalls GEMS project? Right? They had a ton of hype because of their free airdrop. They got the Telegram gift to over, 80,000? Right? Then they changed up on us real quick. Said, you know what? We have so much FOMO. We can raise even more. So they raised the cap to like 150 million or whatever, I think, right? I think they ended up raising, no, initially they would change to an auction, wanted to raise over $1 billion at the start of the auction. They ended up raising 150 million privately, and now it's down 86%. So those whales who invested, they took an L of a lifetime. But anyway, this kind of shows you just because there's hype in a project doesn't mean it's going to do well. So I think you just have to have a decently sized community, because that's what exchanges look for. If you go onto any exchange like Binance and look at their application to list a coin, they'll ask you how big is your community, and typically they'll look at things like Telegram group, right? So I think that's why it matters. But you just got to have a room that's not empty, right? So if you're somewhere around the average sized group, I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's get to the ICO pitches. All right, so the way this works, we have 5 amazing projects here. Not financial advice, guys. We should state that as usual, right? These are not buy, hold, or sell recommendations. Not financial advice. Do your own research. Consult a legal and financial advisor before investing in any ICOs. And yeah, guys, this is the gist of it. Okay, so we have 3 rounds. The first round is 2 minutes. Each project here will get the mic and your attention for 2 minutes to pitch you. And you guys, the audience, will decide the winner, right? So the first round, then the second round, there'll be 2 winners. The top 2 teams from the first round go to the second round, and they'll get 4 minutes each to pitch. Then you guys, again, will pick 1 winner this time. And that winner will get to talk to you guys for 10 minutes, and you kind of have an AMA with them, all right? And if it ends up being a great project, hopefully a allocation in the pre-sale or whitelist. How does that sound? All right, let's go. Okay. Okay, let me get the timer ready. Let's have you come here on stage. All right, so tell us your name and your project.
Hello, I'm Michael from Data Fund.
Can you spell that for us? Data Fund?
Data Fund. It's like a financial fund, but it's with data.
Okay, so that's pretty easy to spell, I think, right? Okay, so you got 2 minutes to pitch. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Okay, so I want to start with a key message. They don't want you to know your personal data has value. And I suggest that personal data from each of you, it's worth at least several hundred euros. Maybe for some of you, even several thousands. So EU Commission is estimating that the value of personal data by 2020 is going to reach 1 trillion euros. That's 1,000 billion euros by end of 2020, only for EU. We are developing a decentralized infrastructure for other companies and other blockchain projects to develop services on top of our platform for any services related to personal data. And this is going to give them a huge potential. We're building a unique process model that is actually incentivizing the companies to give the personal data back to individuals. And this is going to create new value that was before not possible to achieve. And we're going to share with our protocol this value, this new value, in a fair way between individuals and the companies. We have great assets on the project. We have Victor Tron, who is one of the first employees of the Ethereum Foundation as a co-founder, and he's the head of development of Swarm, one of the key technologies of Ethereum. We have signed a strategic partnership with Deloitte. They're going to help us to scale into the corporate sector, to implement our platform in the large corporations. We're also building up partnerships with regional market leaders, and with one of them, we're already testing our MVP for the first stage of our project on a client base of 20,000 people. And it's important for us that we're also fully legally compliant.
10 seconds.
And and also we have a great team. We have almost 30 people, advisors and team members, all experts.
All right, that is time. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Hold on, can we come over here and just write your name here for everybody so they know how to Google you if they want to Google you? Just write
the project.
Yeah, write the project name here in big letters. Okay, and then let's get the next project up. All right, thank you, Data Fund.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Josip Maricevic, CTO and technical co-founder of Tolar.
Hold on, just tell us your name and your project.
Josip Maricevic, Tolar.
Tolar, okay. Okay. Are you ready, Tolar? Yeah. Sounds like a planet.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so today I'm going to introduce you to Tolar, which is not just another cryptocurrency, but a completely new platform. Now, all of you know that blockchain-based solutions in its current form have huge scalability problems. There is already thousands of ICOs you guys probably invested in, and they all solve some real problem with Tolar, solve the real problem with blockchain. However, all those solutions are aiming at worldwide adoption, but for them, that would be the worst thing that could happen right now. Just imagine all these ICOs now getting the traction they want. The complete Ethereum network would grind to a halt. Now, there are some proposed solutions to that. However, some are still in its infancy and others are just buying more time. We decided to go the other way and change how the core consensus algorithm works. That's how we ended up with something we call hashnet. So what is hashnet? It's a graph-based consensus replacement for blockchain, and it's fast, fair, secure, and scalable. For example, Bitcoin at its current form with SegWit can achieve around 7 transactions per second, Ethereum can achieve around 20, and hashnet can achieve around 200,000 transactions per second. Also, for anybody interested, we'll have a live demo in June on multiple nodes that will demonstrate around 100,000 transactions per second. And so in the end, it's also a proof-of-stake project and with masternodes. Now, does any of you know why the governments will never use Bitcoin? Somebody? Because it requires proof of work. And since our project does not, we already have some government partnerships in pipeline. That's it.
All right, thank you. Time is up. What? Okay, and next project up.
Yeah, my name is Michael. I'm project ENQ, Anycum.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, I would like to introduce you the new blockchain project Anycum, the blockchain of tomorrow. It's not a fork, it's a brand new protocol. We start create the idea 3 years ago, and now we are 30 people which work in Europe and Asia for full time for the last 8 months. We're trying to solve 3 main pain and problem of the existing blockchains: the speed, security, and scalability. What we are doing now, in case of the speed, now we are able to run 100,000 transactions per second, and we believe it will be the fastest protocol which exists ever. The security, actually we create the multi-consensus algorithm of mining, which is already proof of work, proof of stake, and revolutionary proof of activity, which is smartphone mining. In case of scalability, we use this shardings and the possibility to be the smartphone as a full node. Just imagine, 3 billion smartphones already on the planet, and each of them can be the part of our decentralized network. So the applications which can be built on top of our protocol can use our ecosystem with 0 cost of transaction for the clients and for the customers or for themselves. How is it possible? Because the system creates every day the tokens which go directly to the miners as the rewards. And the most rewards will go to mobile phone miners. So now, also a few days ago, we successfully tested our smart contract. For smart contract, we use the visual programming language Petri network. It means you don't have the special programming skills to organize, to create a smart contract. It's just a Lego.
All right, and time is up. Thank you.
If you give me a chance, I will give you some more details later on technical stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Milos. I'm from Slovenia, and the project is Motogram. Guys, I must admit, I'm nervous. So if I block, please help me out, okay? It's my first speech.
Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, guys. So I will now start with something we all have in common. Cars. We own them, we need them, and we cannot live without them, right? So, do you know that there are 1 billion car owners in the world today? For the last 5 years, we are developing a breakthrough technology for automotive industry. And last year, we have introduced it to the market, and it's now being used for such big names in insurance company in Europe, such as DEKRA, Zurich Insurance Group, and Allianz. Our technology is already alive, it's already on the market, and it's already a big hit. I'm talking about the automatic car damage scanner. There are a lot of things you can do with car scanner. So the digital insurance can insure the car located in totally different area. The insurance can estimate the car damage without an expert. Or the car rental services won't rent you a car anymore without knowing prior damages of the car. Do you know that there are about 6,000 cars rented daily only in Frankfurt Airport? Our market is huge, and our project is solving the problem. So blockchain technology will allow us to create trustworthy database of cars and share it with the community. For more information, please give us the second chance for the second round, where our CEO and inventor of the car scanner will give you more technical information, or visit our page now. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Last but not least.
Hello, I'm Csaba from Hungary, and I'm here for the inlock.com, inlock.io.
Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. I'm here because there are many problems with the cryptocurrencies. As Ian mentioned, there are a lot of problems with the Bitcoin and other coins. The Bitcoin has a 60 billion spendability problem. If you would like to spend the Bitcoins, we really have no good opportunity for it. Of course, we can buy Bitcoin on the exchanges, we can sell it, maybe we can get some profit. But if you would like to use it as a coin, as a currency, that we will find many blocking issues in this question. So we create the ILOC platform that totally twist out the Bitcoin basic use cases and make a totally new way for the spendability. Although we can use our coins as because the lack of payment problems, payment stories, but we can use it, of course, for as collateral to make some easily spendable money over the lending platforms. Of course, we are not a liquidity provider, the Inlock. We are just a platform that try to make a deal between the borrowers and the lenders. And of course, we are partnering with many institutional lender partner.
All right, we're out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, all right, guys. That is it. So let's have the ICOs that pitched come back here on stage. So in the same order, Data Fund, please come line up here. So guys, get ready. It is the moment of truth. Okay, so we have Data Fund. Next is Tolar. Please come up on stage. Then we have NQ. please come up on stage. Motogram, please come up on stage. And Inlock, please come up on stage. And where's the mic? This is the mic? Okay. So just to refresh everybody's mind, because you may have forgotten what these projects do, just tell us again what you guys do in one sentence.
Hello, Data Fund. So we are creating a solution for personal data markets and for a unique protocol model for getting back the data from the companies.
Tolar, we are developing the consensus algorithm replacement for blockchain that will enable us to do everything Ethereum does, but 10,000 times faster.
So, project Anycum, and we are creating blockchain of tomorrow. It's a human-based decentralized environment.
Hello, so once again, Motogram IO is the project. We have automatic car damage system. Thank you.
Hello, it's Inlock. Inlock is a cryptocurrency-based lending platform.
All right. So I'll tell you how this will work, guys. Get your vocal cords ready. So we'll go through these ICOs one by one, and whichever ICO you would like to go to the next round, only 2 out of the 5 can go to the next round. You will have to vote by making as much noise as possible. Right? So it's not really about the most votes, it's who's the most excited, who has the most FOMO. All right, are you guys ready? All right, so Data Fund. Okay. Tolar. Okay. NQ. Motogram. Inlock. Okay. Wow, it is so hard to decide. Okay, let's go back. Start over. One confirmation. Okay, now we're gonna have a battle. Data Fund. Tolar. Okay, come up here. Then we'll have NQ. Motogram. NQ. Motogram. Okay, Motogram. Okay. And then Inlock. Motogram. Inlock. Motogram. Wow, it is so hard to decide this one. Okay, let's go to hands. Show of hands. Inlock. Motogram. Wow. I don't mean, let me. Okay, let's do it again. Motogram. Inlock.
Let's count it.
Nah, no time to count. Okay, let's go back to noise. Inlock. Motogram. I think Motogram got the most votes. Yes, okay, all right. The rest of you, thank you so much. Thank you so much for competing. Thank you so much. Okay, and then there were 2. This feels like Game of Thrones. Okay, let's get the mic. Okay, so we'll have him stay on stage and you'll be next. Okay? All right. They'll get 4 minutes to pitch, starting with Tolar. Are you ready?
Ready.
So the way this works, it's now me and you. It's now Tokenmetrics time.
Okay.
Okay, so 4 minutes, and I'll ask you questions. Okay, starting now. 3, 2, 1, go. Tell me what your project does in 2 sentences.
So we're developing a new consensus algorithm as a replacement for blockchain, which keeps all the positive properties of blockchain, but increases throughput like more than 10,000 times.
So you're a high-speed blockchain.
We're like the complete platform. It also has a virtual machine on top of it, making it able to run decentralized applications, smart contracts.
So high-speed smart contract blockchain.
Yeah.
So how are you different from Zilliqa, from QuarkChain, from RChain, from all these high-speed blockchains, from Sparkster? I mean, how are you different from all these blockchains trying to...
Okay, so some of those do claim like really ridiculously large number of transactions, but that's because they're like counting on off-chain settlements or like separate channels. This number we talked about, 200,000 transactions per second, that's on main chain. You know, so if sharding is introduced, that can go way up. So
is that 200,000 per node, or
200,000 transactions per second per network, like at the global level, right?
Okay, but okay. What's the speed per node level?
Well, the speed is depending on also how fast the master node is.
What's like the highest theoretical maximum node speed?
One node speed, well, if it's run on decent hardware and a good connection, one node can reach up to 100,000 transactions per second. You know.
Wow, okay, all right. Do you have a prototype?
Yes, we plan to demonstrate it this month, actually. We'll have a conference and event. We'll also have a live stream. And if you want to join, you can be our guest there as well. So we'll have a live demo with multiple nodes.
Now, is that a testnet, a mainnet?
It's not a mainnet. It's some sort of a beta network, like developer network.
So not quite a testnet?
Well, not quite a testnet, but yeah, sometime after the event, we plan to open it as a testnet.
So walk us through your roadmap.
What was?
Your roadmap for the product.
Okay, so we're now in the private sale. Also, the first public demo will be now in June. We plan to have an ICO last week in August. And also, actually, the plan is to open the testnet sometimes around there.
Testnet in August?
Yeah. Sometimes around ICO, but that's more of a strategic decision. And the mainnet...
When's the ICO again?
Last week in August.
Last week in August. Okay.
Yeah. And the main is planned for second quarter of 2019. And that will include everything I talked about, so the virtual machine and everything.
What all-stars do you have on your team? What all-stars team members do you have? Full-time members?
Yeah, of course. So a lot of us are actually working full-time on this. Here I'm a CTO and a tech lead as well. So we have a guy that came from Facebook. He worked for 4 years in Facebook. And we also have one guy that worked in Google as a developer. You know, also, here is my co-founder, Dražen. He has been in business for more than 30 years. And for the last 15 years, he's the principal of the biggest business school here in Southeast Europe, Kotrulji.
Okay. And how much are you raising? What's the hard cap?
We're raising $35 million in total.
And how many tokens total minted?
Minted tokens, 1 billion.
What percentage are available to investors during the token sale?
35%.
Token price?
It's around 10 cents per token, but there is bonus in private sale, 20%.
Well, that's the largest bonus, 20%?
That's the largest bonus, yes.
Okay, any last words?
Well, that's it. If you want to hear more about the tech, give me the chance and I'll explain it to you.
All right, thank you. That was decent, really good. Now we have Motogram.
Hi guys.
Hello. So we just had a switch.
We switched a little bit because I'm a CEO and maybe I'll be able better to answer some of your questions.
All right. So, are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go. Tell us what Motogram does in 2 sentences.
Motogram is a blockchain-based network of scanners that will create a database of cars and the data connected to the cars.
Okay, is this a DApp?
Yes, a DApp.
How much are you raising?
21 million.
21 million for a DApp.
Actually, our main product is a scanner. That's hardware. That's
all hardware and software.
Yeah, and it's
Okay, is there a prototype?
It's already working machine that's already been used by some of the biggest insurances in Europe.
So you can
And
show that to us?
yeah, we can show that. Maybe. Yes, today and
okay,
later,
alright.
if we manage to make a presentation, we can
Alright.
show that.
All right. What all-star members do you have on your team?
Yeah, the biggest, the biggest all-stars are 4 founders. That's me and 3 more guys. But Julian Taike, who is the owner of the biggest digital insurance, is our supporter and, let's say, close team member.
But he's full-time, or is he advisor or something?
He's advisor and a supporter also, investor. And yeah, from blockchain, there are some people working in economy and Hive project and other.
Okay. Now, in terms of the all-star team members, what's their track record? Like, what employers have they worked with? What credible, well-known employers have they worked with?
I mean, they are owners of the bigger corporate companies in insurance business. So yeah, VFox, it's AG Digital Insurance, One Insurance.
AG or AG?
No, VFox AG and One Insurance is the biggest digital insurance in Europe, and the owner is our supporter.
Okay. No, but that's the advisor. I mean, like the core team, the full-time employees working day-to-day operations.
Okay.
What companies have they worked for that people here would know?
Yeah, I personally own a company from 5 years, and we've been developing this for 5 years.
So they're mainly like founders, entrepreneurs.
Yes, yes,
like,
but
like startup roles.
yes, but we are a team of 20 people working on it.
Okay, and what are so you're raising 21 million, how many total tokens?
500 million.
500 million, and what percentage is available during the token sale?
60%.
60%, okay, and token price?
Yeah, $0.1, but also for private sale we'll discuss separately.
Okay, so going back to the whole thing, so $21 million for ADAPT, that's both software and hardware?
Actually, it's for additional improvements on the product, creating a platform and creating another solution that we are trying to put on mobile devices connected to augmented reality. Just today, Apple went into that direction, and we are seeing this as a future. So
now, who do you view as your competition?
The insurances themselves. They are going for this direction, using these technologies, but we want to become independent and connect them. Also, the car producers go into this direction of tracking the cars, putting them in the blockchain, and we'd like to separately connect them, all parties, through our project.
Okay. I'm out of questions. Any last words? You have the 30 seconds.
Yeah, please support us. If you have any questions, join us on Telegram, check our website, or just talk with us here. This is our first public presentation, so maybe we are a bit more nervous, but hopefully we'll improve in that case. But in real business, we think we are really progressing good.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so let's
Thank you.
Tolar back here on stage. Then you guys will vote on the winner. And then there were 2. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Yes. Okay. Motogram. Tolar. Motogram. Tolar. It is so hard to just choose. Okay, let's go to hands. Show of hands. Tolar. Okay. Motogram. Tolar wins. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. This is the part where you sign up for the whitelist before there's FOMO. Not financial advice. And no, I've not invested yet. If I do, I'll let you know. All right, so now, as the winner, once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
On being part of the annual class of the Ian Balina Crypto World Tour winner for Budapest. Okay, so you now get 10 minutes AMA with the entire audience. Okay, so you guys want to ask him anything on Tolar and their blockchain, feel free to start, okay? Starting now. Show of hands. Who has a question?
This is a two-part question. How much money are you guys raising again?
We're raising $35 million in total.
So you guys are basically creating a new blockchain that is going to be faster than the blockchains that are already existing, right?
Yeah.
So with so many new projects claiming that they can do 1 to 100 million transactions per second, my issue is these projects already have working prototypes. You say you have a working prototype, which you're going to demonstrate it, but it's a little bit off-putting when you have a mainnet releasing in Q2 of 2019 when these other projects are already ready to go, they're already ready to release, and they're raising a lot less money. Why should I invest, essentially is what I'm asking.
Okay, so I'll come back to what I said in the second round. All those projects claiming millions and hundreds of millions of transactions, they mean it through sharding or through like having one channel between two nodes or a few nodes, and then like accumulating all that. When we say 200,000 transactions, that means 200,000 transactions on main chain. And meaning actually there will probably never be a need for sharding, but if it's needed, it can easily be upgraded to any of those numbers. If there are some nodes that do like really big number of transactions between themselves, then why not?
Okay, right here. Are you open to changing your token metrics by any chance?
We've already started the private sale, so no, we think that would be unfair to the funds that have started to invest, right?
And just to confirm, it's 35% of the tokens?
Yeah, it's 35% of the tokens, but we're doing a completely new platform. It's not just another utility token or just another dApp. And also we have like big competitors in this space, like Hedera and so on. And if you want to fight that battle and become one of the top 10 coins in 3 years, what actually is our goal, we need to have resources.
And you said you already started raising funds. How much of your hard cap is already filled?
So we're way oversubscribed in private sale. We will not, of course, divulge any concrete numbers until the round is done, But we're planning to sell.
No. I don't think you've been to an Ian Balina event. That does not fly. You gotta give us some numbers, man.
Okay, so anyway, the point is that here, what I'm going to say, we're raising 20 million in the private sale round, and it's currently ongoing. We are way oversubscribed currently, so we're selecting the funds and VCs that will work with,
First of all, yeah, transparency. That's why Bitcoin was made. So, but my question is more technical. So, what's the consensus algorithm? Are you using some form of gossip about gossip? So, like Hashgraph, like Swirly is the original version of Hashgraph, or how do your network reaches consensus?
Okay, yeah. So the information is spread through the reduced redundancy gossip protocol. So that's kind of a little bit different than Hashgraph's gossip about gossip, but it is more efficient up to 24% in some cases. However, it does similarly build a graph-like structure. So as soon as some event is created, it is spread all through the network, right? That's where the fast comes in, because time to finality is also like 5 to 7 seconds in the worst cases. Usually it's 1 to 3 seconds. And since we also spread the events around by gossip, and write down not only the events, but also the way those events were propagated, we can do something that's called virtual voting, right? So instead of having to actually wait for the votes of all the nodes, for some of the nodes, we can calculate what would their vote be if we were running the traditional Byzantine agreement protocol at that time.
And so you'll be running masternodes, I guess, for...
Yeah, so as you probably know, the Hedera announced that they will have 39 nodes, and which will belong to 39 companies of their own choosing. That's kind of the setback to their algorithm. It requires to know the number of nodes in advance, In our network, we're equating vote weight with stake weight. And that allows us to have like as many nodes as we have, but all participating in the consensus process.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any questions? Down here? All right. So I have a question as this guy is going to ask a question. So how are you different from QuickChain? QuickChain just recently had a token sale. They're also claiming to be a high-speed blockchain. All right, so how are you different from them, and how do you plan to compete against them?
Well, at the first, we have the completely different algorithms, right? So
I mean, true, but does the end user care what algorithm is doing what?
Well, sometimes it does, because, for example, any of the standard, even those high-performance blockchains, they still have like the blockchain. Some of them have blockchain structure beneath it. So what that means? This means this is more fair. Why? Because in any of the blockchain-based structures, miners get to choose which transactions from the pool they pick in. So you can have like an evil miners or something like that. And here, the event is propagated as soon as it happens. So we have the fairness factor, and also the time to finality factor, you know.
Okay. So my question would be, what are your competitive advantage compared to Hedera or other hash graph-based companies? Besides, you mentioned the masternodes. So.
Well, in general, the openness. So as you know, the first is they said their clients will never be open source. So you will get some software, they will tell you to run it, and you have to believe that it does exactly what they said it does. Second is the 39 nodes that have all the power over the network, including the voting power on how the network will be developed, will be in the hands of 39 companies, and which they will choose. Here, we will also have a governance that gives more power to the people that actually use the network. So any member of the network can submit some tender that can be aimed at somehow improving the network itself, even changing the governance, and then the Tolar's big council, Magnus Concilium, can vote on it. And that is comprised of all the masternode owners. And the second thing is, of course, we don't have a fixed number of nodes. You know, we're like, at any time a new masternode can join, new node can join and participate in consensus. While in the Hedera, as you mentioned, all the other clients are basically just light clients, you know. They have to believe what those 39 nodes tell them is true. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congrats on winning the first place. Čestitam.
Thank you.
I'm interested, what's the difference between Hashgraph and Hashnet, and is there any collision with Swirl's patent?
Okay, so I'm assuming since these guys asked more on a user-based level, you're interested on more of a technical level, right? So the first is the way the information is spread. As I already mentioned, they're using the gossip about gossip, and we're using reduced redundancy gossip, which is up to 24% faster and generates less network traffic. The second is, once again, we can have any number of nodes. We're not, our algorithm of virtual voting is not limited, that it needs to know the number of nodes in advance. And yes, regarding the patents, that's one of the things we were looking at. We even have some professor from the US and so on. And we looked at their patents, looked at some lawsuits, and we're different enough that it does not warrant any patent infringement.
So 35% for private sale, you said, for token allocation. Can you walk us through the rest of 65%?
You mean for what is the rest? So,
yes.
Okay, so there is like 32% is Tolar Reserve Fund.
Okay, what would that be used for?
I just wanted to say now. So basically, all the masternodes, you of course have to incentivize the people to run the masternodes, you know, because they're using their own resources and so on. So of course, masternode owners will get the fees from all the transactions in any round they participated. However, for example, for the first year, 2 or 3, if needed be, we will also add additional incentives from those funds. That's one. The second is the governance I mentioned. So any node can propose something. For example, you say, we want an iOS wallet, you know. And then all the nodes can vote on it, master nodes, yes or no. And if it proposal passes, it will have a set price, for example, which you'll know when voting. And then that will be spent from that fund to develop that, you know. So, Okay, so that's 32%. Then we have like 5% for advisors and developers. We have also, since it's a proof of stake network, proof of stake, you need to have some starting nodes. We have 8% dedicated for the starting nodes that will be up and running to get the network started. And, and there is 20% remaining for founders. All those tokens that are not sold are locked for 24 months.
Any interesting partnerships that you guys are working with or something you can share with us right now?
Well, for example, here, I think most of you heard a bit about Didi Carter. He's a big supporter of Tolar, and he will soon be announced on our webpage. We also have 2 government partnerships in the pipeline, but I'm not sure how much we are allowed to talk about them. So.
Hey. So I get that you're able to do a lot of transactions, which is great. But for me, the most important thing is the release of mainnet. And since you're saying it's in Q2 of 2019, how will you be able to adapt faster than the already existing blockchains on mainnet? Since I think at the moment the crypto space is evolving way faster than ever before. So that's what that.
Yeah, so first I would say that in some parts we have even more business experience than the other blockchains, and we'll be able to secure the partnerships and so on. But the second thing is that that's kind of a conservative, you know, how would I say, estimate. There is like a really good chance that mainnet may actually happen really even before that. But we don't want to be like, I don't know, IOTA, you know, and then come out and then people kill us with like hundreds of bucks and so on. So we would more like to take it slow, you know, and make sure everything is secure, and then release it instead of like having to pressure to put something out and then putting out a half-baked product.
All right, thank you so much. Let's give it up to Tolar, the winning ICO. All right, next up is the AMA with me. So if you have any questions you would like to ask me, we have about 15, 20 minutes. All right, okay.
So my question would be, do you plan any dedicated pitching events besides the I Am Balina tour? So
besides this one,
yeah.
No. This is the pitching event. Why, do you have an ICO to pitch, or?
Yes, I have.
Your ICO?
Yeah.
I mean, if you missed this event, the next thing to do is to go to the next tour event. I mean, that's what Sparkster did. Sparkster came to London. Okay. They're based in London. They missed. Then they flew all the way to Amsterdam, almost missed again, but ended up getting in. And this is history.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yeah, or just talk to Diego and Hugo and send them your information.
Yeah, thank you for OneChain.
Oh.
What would you say is the best way going forward to make best use of your OneChain stash? Just use them for ICO and never sell them?
The best way to make use of OneChain stash depends on how much you have. I think they're doing the master nodes, I think. Right? Diego, Hugo, do you guys know? I think they're supposed to announce master nodes in OneChain 2.0. They pushed it back? Middle of June. So that's this month. Yeah, I mean, so depending how much you have, do a master node. If you don't, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody know how much it is for master node in OneChain? Has that been announced? I haven't really been keeping tabs on OneChain. It's kind of been in the back. I've moved on, but it was a decent project. To be honest, I was disappointed. I had higher expectations for OneChain, but hey, I mean, a 10x is a 10x, right? I think, yeah, probably just keep some as a long-term hold. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing, right? Obviously not financial advice, but I would just either use it for masternode or just keep some for long-term investment. But I mean, to be honest, I would take profits if you haven't already.
Hello. What do you think about the Bluzelle, ARChain, and Ontology? Are they for...
About Bluzelle, ARChain, and what?
Ontology.
Ontology.
Yes.
I mean, I think they've done really well. I invested in all of them except for ontology because nobody could really get into ontology. Well, actually, no, Brazil I didn't invest in, sorry. Only RChain. But I was bullish on all three of them. I'll start with RChain. They're supposed to be launching either their testnet or mainnet in Q4 of this year. So I think once they start doing that and getting dApps on their platform, they'll start to get more awareness, more hype, more FOMO maybe, right? So I'm still bullish on it. Buzel, same thing. They aren't really going to do much. They have two main product updates. I think a desktop and even a mobile version. But I think mainly a desktop version of their software, whatever they're doing. But in terms of the projects, you're asking what's my take on the projects? I'm bullish on all three, but I think they're going to take a while to kind of really do anything. I think out of all those three, ontology is the most, is probably the better project. It's done the well so far, but surprisingly, I think, well actually I don't think, word is ontology did well because they had market makers, right? That's how they did an 18x in a bear market. And everything else was tanking. It was still going to the moon, so to speak, right? But as a project though, it's really good. I have some friends who are connected in Asia. They're saying they think ontology could replace Neo as kind of the next platform for developers. I'm not sure about that, but so far it's done pretty well. I think it's over almost $1 billion market cap. Does that answer your question?
My question was, is all of this is for long investment or no?
A long-term holds? A long-term? Depends. What is long-term? It varies for everybody. I mean, I think if I had to pick one as a long-term, it will be ontology. Well, actually, it wouldn't be Brazil. It will be ontology or RChain. But, I mean, so far, I think ontology has a better chance of dominating Asia than RChain has of dominating the world, basically. So, I mean, all the projects I review, I have long-term in mind, but I may not hold for the longest of times. Let's just say that. But I'm bullish on them long-term.
Hey, Ian. Yesterday, John McAfee announced that he'll be running for president in 2020. What are your views on that?
What? My views on that?
What are your views on that?
I'm not voting for him. I think we can do better. What? Kanye West? We got Kanye West, we got Donald Trump, we got John McAfee. That's going to be quite the TV show, right?
You got to use token metrics for the election then.
Oh, that's where they had Cambridge Analytica, right? I mean, I've heard about it, but I mean, is it real? He's not joking? He's really going to run for president. Wow. I mean, hey, that's called democracy.
I'm new to ICOs, and I was thinking about investing around $5,000. How many coins or projects would you recommend investing in? Like, do I put my eggs in, do I say 2 or 3, or should I go more conservative and maybe throw $500 at like 10 of them?
It kind of varies, right? Me personally, if I had $5,000 to invest, I probably would do anywhere between 500 to 1,000 into one single ICO. So maybe just do 5 to 10 ICOs, divide that over 5 to 10 ICOs, but score them according to your own token metrics, right? And allocate the most funds to the one that has the highest score. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Are you still bullish on Goat Network after all this time has passed? Would you feel confident investing or not?
Hell no.
No?
Hell no.
Okay.
I covered this on my...
Ship has sailed, right?
I mean, for those who don't know, I used to be an advisor to Go Network, and just kind of from observing the team and the way they would interact with people like me and other advisors, and just with all the allegations from the public, I just couldn't be tied to that project. I felt like they were very, very shady, in my opinion, right? From them just outright lying to me, an advisor, right? Which kind of made me question all the other things people had alleged them doing publicly, right? With the Telegram chat or whatever. It made me question that maybe those might be real. And then how they wanted to raise more money. I mean, because they brought me on board to help them with token metrics. But once they got people into the community, they said, screw token metrics. We'll take as much money as possible. And I didn't want to be tied to that. So I had to step down. So I'm not advising them. I didn't get paid for anything with them. I would not invest anything in them, me personally.
I see. Thank you for answering my question. And the next one is more of a statement than a question. You should probably have air conditioning pre-arranged at your next events.
Yeah.
You look really hot, but you're doing a great job.
Would be, yeah. Next
Thank
time.
You. Is regulation good or bad for the crypto space, especially for ICOs and tokens, generally speaking?
That's a tough question. Nobody wants regulation until they need it, right? I mean, I'm a perfect example of that. And I was like, hey, you know what? It's good not to have regulation. We can make a bunch of money. Who needs the SEC? Who needs this? But then once somebody hacked me, I was going to the police. Hey, regulation, please come in, please come in. Right? So it's one of those things. It's both. I think it's needed, to be honest, right? Especially with lots of scams and stuff happening. But now, I mean, because ICOs are trying to raise a ton of money, and people just view this as a gold rush. And having some kind of regulation, especially the more people we get involved in this space, the more newbies we get involved in this space, we have to protect them. So as much as we may not want it, it is needed in a way. I just hope they don't destroy the innovation and don't destroy the essence of, in a way, supporting the community and the small guys, right? Because I feel like regulation is coming into the space now is going back to the old venture capital model of where only the rich get rich, which I don't like.
Can you name a few projects that you are looking at currently and they are not yet on your spreadsheet?
Okay, Tolar for one. Tolar, I was looking at. I actually did my homework on them before. I'll have to look into ENQ. I heard they're blockchain, so I'm going to do some homework on them. I looked into Hypernet. That one, I'm not going to be investing at the moment. I've looked into Harmony. That one is down the line. It's also some kind of protocol, maybe blockchain. Probably going to be in Q4, Q1. But got to wait on the token metrics. But so far, it's a great team. All-star team, all-star advisors. Outside of that, yeah, I think that's the ones I've kind of looked at. Oh, actually, Blocks Route is kind of some kind of scaling or side channel scaling for blockchains. That one I looked at, but I don't plan to invest, me personally. That's what I've been looking at recently.
Thank you.
Now, 2017 was an epic year from an investor perspective for ICOs. Now, you probably get asked this question a lot, but how will 2018 be different in terms of, let's say, average profitability or average return per ICO from an investor perspective?
Good question. Yeah, 2017 was a hell of a year. 2018, I think, has been slower. I still think there's money to be made. I just think it will take longer to make that money, right? So, for example, like in December we had several 100x projects that happened that did 100x over basically 1 month. I think in 2018 it's going to take several months for a project to do 100x, or even a 50x. Right? So I think it's just longer investment horizons is the main thing, because now there are more people involved in this space. But I still feel like the opportunity is still there. I just feel that now, like, you gotta have a different edge. You have to evolve, because now everybody knows smart contract blockchains is where the money is. So now everybody's getting into the next icon, next one chain, all that. But last year, not everybody knew that, but now everybody knows that.
Hello? Yeah. Here. Hi. Based on this is more technical question. So based on your token metrics, we all know that you are very good in data analysis, and we all know that you want to invest in property. So
property, like real estate?
Yes. So are you going to share your investments in property with us? It will be very interesting to see.
Like, am I going to like just
areas
tell you
and
what I invest in, or a sub pool or something? What do you mean share?
Show some area.
Premier block? I mean, it's just real estate. I mean, it's just more of me just investing or buying a house, right? But down the line, I've thought about getting into commercial real estate. To a point, I even found a friend of mine who does that for a living. He's made good money doing it. But once he showed me the ROI, and I said 20%, I was like, I'll stay in crypto for now. I mean, 20% is safe, but I'm willing to take a risk for crypto.
So Ian, 2 questions, if I may, really quick. It's also about security. Number 1 is, how do you know if a company has an escrow while doing an ICO? I mean, if the money that you put in will also come back or stay in. And the second one is, how do you know, or how do you personally realize when you see that it's a legitimate MVP that the company has, or that's not just something that you figured out in 5 minutes?
Good question. The escrow thing, I mean, nowadays you don't really know. I mean, sure, some may let you know or put who they have in escrow, but I mean, I don't really check for that. I just check for credible teams. Right? I feel like if you find credible people who've worked for credible companies, like publicly traded companies or well-known blockchain projects, it's very likely they would pull things like that or exit scam or whatever. Right? With that being said, you also got to protect your investment. That's why I look to take out my initial investment very quickly, no matter how good a project is, because you never know what could happen. Right? So that's kind of how I personally protect myself from that. But in terms of knowing if there's an escrow with a project, I mean, you can ask them, but I mean, who knows if they're telling the truth or not? I mean, because nowadays projects can say anything to get our money. Now, regarding the prototype, I have noticed that, right? Lots of projects now have a habit of stretching the truth, right? I won't call it outright lying, but they will stretch the truth of their progress, right? To a point now that, especially for blockchain projects, anything that's claiming whatever they're claiming, I ask for a demo, for a live demo of the product to see how it works. So that's kind of how I kind of verify the prototype.
Was there a question here?
Hi. How do you determine when to sell and how much of your coins?
Good question. So it varies. I do try to kind of codify it. I look to take out my initial investment after a 3x, meaning if I put in 1,000 euros and it turns to 3,000 euros, I look to take out 1,000 euro, which is my initial investment, and reinvest elsewhere. Then I keep the 2,000 euros as profit. Then as it keeps going up, I take more profit from there and reinvest when I need it. So it depends when I have a good ICO coming. For example, let's say I have one good ICO come every 2 weeks, right? One good all-star ICO every 2 weeks, right? So every 2 weeks I'll go back on that project and take profits from there to reinvest, right? So it depends. So let's say it goes up from 3x to 7x, 10x, whatever. I'll probably go back and take 10 to 20% off to reinvest into new projects as it keeps going up. Does that answer your question? Now, if it's not profitable, I typically will be patient and wait for a while. Could be 1 to 2 months. It kind of depends. If it's a bull market, I'll be less patient. If it's a bear market, I'll be more patient. Right? For example, the best example is PundiX. Who was part of PundiX ICO? Okay, good number, right? That came out. It was 50% below ICO price for like 2 months. Straight bear market. Because it was a bear market, I was somewhat patient. But I also was expecting news on a better exchange. So that one I just hodled, right? Because I just couldn't do anything with it really. And then once it pumped to like a 3 or 4x because of the buyback, I took my initial investment quickly, right? Because when you're in darkness for a while and you finally see sunlight, you take profits, right? So I took my profits, then it went to like 7x, 10x, sold about 20% off again to invest into QuickChain and some other projects. Went to 15x, sold 20% off. Went to 20x, sold 20% off to invest into Sparkster and other projects. Even cashed some out to fiat, right? So that's kind of my strategy.
My question were related to PUNDX. Where do you see it in 1 year from now on?
1 year from now on? Where it is now. I mean, not from a price point, but I think, I mean, I don't think the technology is going to be adapted anytime soon, right? We went to Bali, or Indonesia, where they're based, and they barely have credit cards there. So I find it very difficult to believe that they will skip credit cards and go straight to crypto. Now, with that being said, the audience is the whole world, and most of their orders are coming from Europe and elsewhere, which is good. But in terms of actual adoption by retailers, I think it's going to be very hard. My friend who works in retail as a VP of a publicly traded company says that they actually had a call with them and things didn't really go well because they have so many regulation issues in retail and crypto, it's going to be hard for them to adopt it, right? So in terms of them gaining mainstream acceptance, it's going to be a really long time. But we can make money, right? So it's kind of the investor and the long-term idealist of the project. But I think, I mean, I thought it was an all-star project, that's why I invested. And so far, it's kind of proved that, although it took a while to prove that. So I just hope that that monthly airdrop keeps on giving. Right? That's the best thing that ever happened to PUNDX. Was the monthly airdrop and the buyback program. So I'll keep on hodling for a while.
So just a simple question. Where's the crazy after party?
Tonight, I don't think there's an after party. Probably just going to be more of just going to the bar or something and grabbing a drinks. But if you guys know the crazy after party, let me know. All right.
Just a quick question. What is your view on Lending Block now?
Lending Block, man, I'm pissed off at Lending Block, to be honest. Actually, I just pinged Steve the other day, their CEO, saying, hey, man, when's the better exchange going to happen, man? Because we're waiting for a while. But I'm still holding. I don't like how they got into hit BTC the first time. I think it's a bad exchange. But I'm just, at this point, I'm just holding. I mean, the market hasn't been that bullish, so I can understand. Several other projects are also down. I'm just hoping they miraculously pull a PUNDX type of comeback. But if it keeps up like that, though, I may have to just jump ship and move on to a different project and just sell everything. But for now, I'm still holding.
What is your vision on QuickChain?
On QuickChain? Oh, I mean, it was an all-star. All-star project. I did invest in the project. I think it came out today on both Binance and KuCoin, which is amazing. I don't think any project has done that, like those two exchanges the first day. Although Binance ended up postponing listing for some reason because of number of tokens. But I'm very bullish on it. I think it has a chance to possibly be the next icon to have that kind of run.
Thank you.
Hi. Don't you think that there's too many blockchain platforms, ICOs, and a lack of utility projects?
Yes, there are too many new blockchains coming out, but I would rather take that over dApps because the value now is in infrastructure projects. I think it's too early to start building real dApps that can really leverage the blockchains because, I mean, we're still having issues scaling Ethereum, for example, right? So CryptoKitties CryptoKitties took down Ethereum network. So if we had more CryptoKitties, when Ethereum is not yet ready to scale and solve those issues, it won't be good. So I feel like now we're kind of trying to take care of the basics. We're trying to walk before we fly. Right? The dApps is kind of like flying. But we have to first learn to walk and all that stuff, and then run, and then all that, right? So I'm fine. Just right now, it's kind of just a race to see who can really build the next generation blockchain that can solve those issues. So right now, Ethereum is ahead, but we have Cardano and Neo and EOS and NEM and all these other projects trying to compete with it to solve that issue, right? So I mean, I love competition, right? Because if you missed the Ethereum boat, you can catch the next Ethereum now, right? So the more, the better for me. Does that answer your question?
All right, Budapest. You guys showed up. Thank you so much.
We just got done with the Crypto World Tour meetup. Tolar won. Crypto family surprised me with his t-shirt. Everybody here at the event signed the t-shirt. There are so many signatures here. I mean, I'm speechless. Crypto family, I had no idea this was coming. Thank you, Budapest. You guys are amazing. It's been a blast. To the moon.
Are you a believer till the end? When your funds are low, can you believe in it again? No longer ever questioning yourself if you believe it though. You never questioning yourself if you believe it though.